Friday morning, can't control it. Fired up and counting every minute. Hands are shaking, eyes are burning. The time has come, yeah, this is not a warning. The week was just so long, we had to let it go. Our problems disappeared, we're not tied up anymore. The weekend is here. Sunday calls, we are sick and tired of it. Up and down, can you feel it? Up and down.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Johansson show. I am joined by Melanie Price. Mel, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Excited, like when Ryan was like, "You need this person on," I was like, I told you in the
full list.
I told you in the like DMs. Obviously, one of my first look into British wrestling was people showing me videos of NGW and a lot of your work, valeting with Nathan as well. So we'll jump straight into that point. Like,
Yeah,
how did you start with Nathan?
that was very early on. So I started at Futureshock, and I think they always used to have a car drive into Hull
Yeah,
for NGW once a month, group of them. And one day I went, and I'm trying to think how I actually got on the show. I think there was sorry. Great start, mind blank. Yeah, I was doing like the It Girl gimmick at the time, and I carried a loaded handbag to the ring. I was wrestling at Futureshock, and I used to knock people out as the finish and stuff like that. And I think Nathan was doing his like show stealer gimmick, Prima Donna. That was it. He was that first, and I think the characters just fit together. And he had an entourage. He had Rich as like his what's Rich now? Rich is like his business manager. Kev Cash was his water boy. So yeah, I was his girlfriend. So I just ended up in that little group, and it just expanded from there. It was really good times. It was great learning from Nathan and all the different people he wrestled, like Rampage and people like that. Yeah. Great to like practice promos as well, and they were just, as a company, they were really progressive at the time. They were getting out there, getting things online, and like we were saying earlier before we started recording, like a lot of things just weren't filmed and put up for everyone back then. And they really, I think Andy Dye was the media guy there, and it was a really good start for me. And I never really, like I was saying, I started off wrestling and never started off to get in as a valet. But when I got injured, that kept me involved and really learnt a lot. I learnt a lot more than I thought.
Was Nathan the first time you was doing valeting work then?
My first ever thing on a show was actually with Rockstar Spud, which was kind of crazy to think about. That was my first job. I played like his groupie in FWA when he used to do performances, and I'd do run-ins and try and attack him and cuddle him and kiss him, but sometimes I'd end up running into his opponent instead, and just costing matches and stuff like that. So that was my first, and then I wrestled at Futureshock and I got put in with the models there. So Danny Hope and Joey Hayes. So I was managing them sort of alongside wrestling. But first out and out managing, I guess, on a run with the NGW,
Yeah. How was it working with the models? Like, both of them are criminally like underrated and underutilized in the British wrestling scene.
Oh, I know. I would say I probably learned the most from them because I was just with them for so long. I had my first match with Joey Hayes. My first ever match was in an 8-man tag with him, and then Dave Rain put us, because they were doing that, like with Nathan, he was doing his Prima Donna thing. Yeah. They were doing their models thing in other places, and Dave was just like, it just makes sense for you guys to be put together. Yeah. And they had the belts for like 2+ years at Futureshock, and just such a run, such good guys to help and advise, and sometimes it would be managing with them, sometimes it would be 6-man tags, and like I think valeting with them, I got to work with a lot of people. Wouldn't have if I was just working with the girls, which it's like, yes, I want to wrestle and yes, I want to be the girls, but if I wasn't managing, then I wouldn't have got to do a program of like the American Wolves and people like that. When would I have ever got to work with David Richards? So 100%. Just great. And those guys, it's just mad that they don't have a contract somewhere, Joey and Danny, because they're just so solid and so talented, like all rounders.
100%. How did you get started with Futureshock then?
I think I liked going. Do you remember 1PW?
Yeah.
In Yorkshire, I liked going there, and I didn't even really know there was a British scene, and that's how I sort of discovered it. Someone, like a WWE show, someone gave me a flyer for 1PW, and I was like, oh my God, British wrestling, I need to find out where there's one local to me. And then, because it didn't even occur to me there would be. I was like, wrestling's American, so stupid. Yeah, and then I think I went WWE, and I think someone might have given me a Futureshock flyer, or I looked it up. There was GPW and Futureshock in the area at the time, and yeah, Futureshock was the near one to me, so I went down one day and yeah, gave it a go.
Who was the head trainer at the time?
Dave Rain was the head trainer. Yeah. I think he was there that day. I think Sam Bailey was there that day, and a guy called Jamie Flint who doesn't wrestle anymore. And then yeah, they sort of taught me the basics. And yeah, but Dave Rain was the man in charge at the time. So yeah.
What would you say is like the best bit of stuff you've learned from both of them? Because they are two contrasting styles. Like Dave Rain is very entertaining from the work I've seen of his in PCW. He gets the crowd like on board and stuff like that with character work, and then Sam is so technically sound as well. Like
I think you probably just summed it up there. Like Dave was so good to guide me with my character, and obviously he gave me my first start on wrestling and shows. But yeah, he really went above and beyond to develop the it girl persona and stuff like that, and would just give like extra help with just characteristics and mannerisms, and walk like this and hit the ropes like that and apply a headlock in a sassy way and stuff like that. And yeah, whereas Sam was more like the athletic side, and he put us through our paces but made it fun at the same time. So that was you always look forward to going to training. So yeah.
How did you adapt to it? Like, had you been doing sports when you was younger, or was this your first introduction?
It was a bit of a reality check. As you probably know from doing the NGW training. But yeah, I mean, I've always been a bit of a tomboy, I suppose. I played football and stuff like that earlier on, like when I was about 13 or something. But yeah, I was probably a bit unfit. By the time I went to wrestling, I kind of just focused on trying to put a bit of muscle on before I started training. That's all. So I thought I'm not going to be able to take the bumps. So got into weights a little bit and just, try to build up my cardio, going for runs but nothing could have ever prepared me, to be honest. So I just stuck at it anyway. I remember, the first day after the first training session, you can't move your neck and you're just like, oh my God, what have I done? But yeah, went back the next week.
Like when you're looking at your character work and even your in-ring style, was there anybody else that you'd maybe try and research to try and have a look at some of their mannerisms or some of their movesets?
Well, I absolutely love Maryse. So I just think she's amazing. She was probably my idol back then. Well, she still is, but I just thought I just want to be like her, because I just thought the way my body type is and stuff like that. Like I loved people like Beth Phoenix and stuff, but I thought I'm never going to be able to emulate Beth Phoenix. I'm not going to be able to chuck people around. So try and sort of watch someone who can, get the crowd interested, but be herself. I just love character stuff. Like obviously I love work rate too, like watching it, but character stuff, I just think there's nothing better. So yeah, I did watch a lot of Maryse, and they're just like Fandango people like that, like the model Rick Martel. Just loads of just sassy people.
You watched any of Ms. and Mrs. then? Yes,
I have. I've not watched it. I'm not up to date on it, but yeah, it just they do a lot of silly things on there, don't they?
Yeah, it's my guilty pleasure. I'm not up to date either, but like my fiance, she's not into wrestling whatsoever, but she'll watch Ms. and Mrs. just because of, I think it was when there was mimicking John Cena and stuff, and I was showing her videos and she found it entertaining.
Yeah.
She just watched this. So she watches Ms. and Mrs. That's the only wrestling she'll watch.
Yeah.
But it speaks how important character work is. Definitely. Because those two are very big characters, and they're able to draw her in.
Yeah. The Miz, he's just incredible. I think the work he does, like his promo work and everything, I think even though he's had so much success, I still think he's so underrated at the same time. It's mad, isn't it? I think, there's a funny story. When, cause everyone knows I love Maryse, and I was lucky enough after my shoulder surgery in 2016, it was my first outing, we went to WrestleMania, being a few friends, And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just a typical thing. I was like, I need to get my nails done for for being on holiday, even though I'm not at a beach. I'm going to WrestleMania. And I went to a nail bar, and who walks in but Maryse and Eva Marie? And I was like, ah! And everyone I told was like, you followed Maryse to the nail bar? Like, I absolutely didn't. I couldn't even be any more shocked. And yeah, got a photo with her. It was great.
See, it's fate.
It was fate. I was like, you just don't understand, Maryse.
But then if you go to WrestleMania again and go to a nail bar and she's there, she's going to start thinking something.
I know, yeah. She'll be like, yeah, stalker. Well, yeah, that was the Raw after Mania. She returned to like jump the guardrail and she slapped Zack Ryder's dad, and I was like, oh, I'm here for Maryse's return. That was a good memory to have.
That was probably your highlight, like,
of my life.
WrestleMania weekend. Yeah, of your life.
Yeah, definitely WrestleMania weekend. I don't know, a few people who got to see like the Hardy Boys return, but you know, Maryse, Hardy Boys was the year after. But oh well.
We had our nails done, and then she slapped Zack's dad.
Yeah.
With like Futureshock, then, what are some of your favourite moments? You mentioned working a program with Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, but from that early time, like, what are some of your favourite moments of Futureshock?
I got to do like so much good stuff. Like in my early wrestling days, I got to wrestle the Blossom Twins, and they were. And I don't think they're wrestling anymore, but they were amazing to work with. They would always uplift you and try and teach you. And yeah, I got to work a few programs with them. The models. They got to work with a really good run with Don Micho and Ryan Hendricks. I think Ryan's still wrestling. I think Don might have gone into more of a speaking role now. And just really good, solid feuds, and just learnt so much about putting tag team matches together. I did like quite a big split with the models where I got to work with a team called Wonderland, and like a lot of main event things that I was just so lucky to be part of that I value. Like I hated breaking up with them in real life. Like we've been together like 6 years or something. But yeah, I joined Wonderland and got to learn like a different darker side of the character. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I've stepped away from Futureshock now just because I really thought I need to give my wrestling training like a real go and try and see if there is a part of me outside just being like, because you can get put in a box, can't you, as a valet or a manager? Yeah. But I still want to give my wrestling dream a go. So I just, while I was kind of between storylines, I was like, thank you so much for trying to keep finding me something to do. Like, that's amazing that you want me around, but I'm just going to concentrate on my training for now and see what happens in the future. Whereas don't feel obliged to keep putting me with something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Was this before your injury?
No, this is recently after, yeah. So I was still I had about a year off in 2000, all the years are confusing, 2015, 16, came back, worked with the models, then quite immediately after we split. So then I went with Wonderland and was sort of rehabbing after my surgery and valeting at the same time. I did a couple of matches and I thought, I need to really knuckle down and train, because it was kind of difficult because like I was kind of working backwards where a few promoters would hear that, she wants to wrestle again. Are you booked for this date? And are you free? And it'd be like a couple of months' time. It's like, well, actually, I need a bit more time to prepare, but I can't really turn the work down. So I just thought I'll not knock Futureshock on the head, but I'll just put my valet and stuff aside for a while and just concentrate at training. So yeah.
Was you still training with Futureshock? Or where was you going? I
was at Pinfall at that point because the Futureshock school kind of broke off. I think Dave Rain sold it, and it broke off to one. So I was at Pinfall. Yeah. Sam Bailey was at Pinfall, so I was under him. So it was kind of it was weird. So it was like I am still seeing all the Futureshock people. I'm training with all the Futureshock people, but I'm just not on shows for the time being, I guess. Yeah. Probably the best way to describe it. Sorry, I've kind of just gone off on a massive tangent. You've asked me what I'm enjoying doing Futureshock shows. I'm like, left Futureshock, was doing this and this, but I was training at Pinfall for a good while with Sam Bailey. Did a little bit of training with Shake at PCW. T-Bone was running some sort of classes for us, like him and Lana especially really, really, really helped me try to get back on the wrestling wagon. I guess is probably the word. Yeah. So
what's the difference with British wrestling, especially like how women's wrestling perceived from when you was first starting out to how it is now?
yeah, it's so much different. Like I don't think I think I was a bit naive in like, yeah, I'm just gonna go and have surgery, I'll be back and then I'll be wrestling again. Like it was a real shock to my system coming back.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I've fast forwarded now because I'm like, yes, I had surgery, blah blah blah.
We can go back, don't worry.
Yeah,
like,
I guess for anyone who's listening, I started as a wrestler, I got injured in a match, and I was off for like a good few years trying to rehab a shoulder injury that wasn't going anywhere. And one day I was like, right, I need to get this sorted. I had explorative surgery in my shoulder, and it was all torn at the front and back. I got it repaired, and I was like, yes, need to start my wrestling dream again. Basically. Sorry, I forgot what it was like. Yeah, when I first started, there was hardly any girls at all. Like even in like the north, there was like me, the Blossom Twins, April Davids. There was Jenny Huadine. She Swedish. Yeah. She did a lot of Eve. She was a Swedish tigress as well. I believe maybe I've just given her identity away. She doesn't wrestle anymore. Yeah, and then there's not many girls, but there's also like not many spots on shows for girls either. You would just sort of see the same girls around. And then when I came back, I honestly think like a lot of it was like Total Divas and things like that. Like a few girls said to me joining Futureshock, like, oh, I never watched wrestling before, but I really like Total Divas and I just wanted to give it a go. And I thought that was really cool, actually. Like it kind of is, it's funny, but like women's wrestling just sort of took off more, didn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot different now. I guess.
I think those Total Divas, like the cast and whether it's the Bella Twins and stuff, I don't think they get the appreciation they deserve for what impact they've actually made. Yes, they may not be the typical indie workers, but you've just said it there. You train people that came out and was like, oh yeah, it's because I watched Total Divas. Like they've broken that mainstream barrier and won wrestling fans in.
It inspired the next generation. And you think for like the time and stuff they were given on Raw for like 4-minute matches and stuff like that, and what they made the best of, like you can't knock it really. Like they worked hard as anyone else. But
so after you had your surgery and you came back, I know this company that again was mentioned in the speaking out movement, but I think it's a discredit to your work and the work you did with all the girls there from your time with Iron Fist. So we won't speak about the promotion as a whole, but from your time there, obviously their champion had a lot of good opportunities. Was it Millie that you beat for the belt?
Yeah, it was Millie, but it wasn't a proper match in the end. It was just like a storyline, steal the belt from her. And then it was kind of like a Stephanie McMahon type run to begin with. And then, as my wrestling training started sort of improving and stuff, I was given more chances to test myself. Like, got to work with Zaya Brookside in a couple of tag matches. There's a girl called Kat Von Cage there. I think she's from Wales. She's really good. Dominita, I've got to wrestle her quite a few times, and they've always been really fun matches. Learned a lot from just working with different types of girls, different styles. I ended up, I think I had the belt for well over a year. I really enjoyed the run. Dropped it to Zoe Lucas in probably one of my favourite matches I've had, actually. I think it was one of the anniversary shows, and we did like belt shot, kick out, all sorts of drama, run-ins and all that. And because I always used to just get away with the belt in a shitty way every single time. So when I hit her with the belt and she kicked out, everyone was like, oh my God. It was just, it was a really good way to just drop the belt and move forward. Even then, after I dropped the belt, got some chances. Got to do a triple threat with Ivy and Giselle Shaw. Like looking back, that's probably like one of the like last sort of matches like I had before lockdown and stuff like that. That was probably like the Christmas before lockdown, and everything sort of just began to shut down then. But yeah, some really good memories of working with the girls there.
Do you think it was that run and working with the people you mentioned that has helped you, like, kind of get back in the swing of things then?
Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, yes, wrestling's a work, but if you see in other companies willing to put a belt on you, it turns heads, I suppose, and, you know, how you portray it on social media. And, yeah, if one company's willing to put you out there and put you on the posters, then makes other people really, pay attention. I've been talking about Futureshock a lot. I do want to mention GPW. They're very close to my heart. They're probably like can you have two home promotions? I don't know.
Yeah, you're home away from home.
Yeah, home away from home. Like, they've always stuck by me and given me opportunities. And like Johnny Brannigan there, like, I really appreciate him. Dirk Feelgood, I don't know if you've seen any of his work. He was back in the day FWA.
Okay.
Yeah, amazing promo, like top guy in BritWres, and they just really pushed me. And as soon as they were like, right, we're going to relaunch the women's division in GPW, we want you a part of it, and we want Lana to be a part of it, and just, yeah, they really helped develop me as well. And it's just, even if it's not like the physical training, it's just the belief that you can do this. It just goes such a long way. And yeah, GPW as well. They really, I've got to do like their women's tournament, and like they'd not had a women's match in years and years. Got to be in the final of their women's tournament against Lana, and that was when I just felt like, right, I'm back and I can do this. With all these guys. And yeah, since then I've got to work with Tonga, and yeah, got a little faction going there called Feel Good Media Limited, FML, with Chase Alexander and Dirk as well. So yeah, good.
I like it. You mentioned Lana, and you'd gone through, and it was for the vacant title. How was that match? Because you mentioned Lana earlier, like her and T-Bone, and how much they helped you. So then you get into wrestle with GPW. How was that?
Yeah, I fully love that match. That's probably one of my favourites. It just, I remember at the time we were thinking, because I was only known as a valet, and I know she was fighting for years and years to get women's wrestling back in GPW, because she'd wrestled all around the country, but again, GPW is where she started, and she's wrestling the guys and stuff like that. But yeah, she wanted the women back on, and she really fought for it. Like, that's what's great about her, is she's not just thinking about herself and her career. She wants to help other people at the same time. So she really, like, you know, did say to Johnny, we need to get this back up and running. And we tried to do our match, like the way we planned it was like Stephanie McMahon versus Lita on Raw. I think it was a pay-per-view, and they just like loads of run-ins, loads of like character work. We just built it around, like, not that I didn't want to be taken serious as a wrestler, but I wasn't on Lana's level as a wrestler. Yeah. In wrestling, and to just come back and character-wise. So yeah, it was just really fun. I would go back and watch that with like a lot of memories. And her brother Lee as well, he was a really good help too.
What is it about the GPW shows as a whole then that you enjoy? Like, cause
just, you know, I do like the quote-unquote indie wrestling, but GPW is just a good family night out. I would invite like my non-wrestling friends to a GPW evening, like have a drink at the bar, enjoy the atmosphere. All the kids love it. Loads of great storylines. Like we were talking before, like you've got people like Lana, Ashton Smith, T-Bone. Then you've got people like Matt Brooks doing the opera. And then you've got Ryan Davis with his boxing background. And we had, like, when he came to GPW and he brought his 100 boxing fans with him, like the atmosphere was absolutely incredible. And I was like, this guy, he really wants GPW to do well. Like, he wants to do well himself and just really help out. And just there's just such a good mix of people there. So
it's funny you should say that, because when I spoke to Ryan probably around this time last year, he mentioned about going there and that he's got quite a loyal following from Blackpool, and they all came over to the show, and then
there was no seats left
to hear you say you big it up like where he wasn't exaggerating, and it was like
Yeah.
he's just brought this army of people.
Yeah, because like usually after you've had your match, you can go up to the balcony and like, no, you can't, to watch the rest of the show. And like, no, you can't. There's no room for you on the balcony, Mel. Like all Ryan's friends and family are there. just find a spot somewhere to watch the show, but there's no chairs left, so just keep moving. Like, okay then.
What other companies have you been working for? I've seen quite a few pop up, but which ones have you been enjoying?
Again, I've got to do. There's one in the Midlands that was kind of like a few of the Iron Fist guys. A guy called Robert Higginson runs, not the same Iron Fist people, but a few of the same roster members. A guy called Robert Higginson runs that, and that's been really fun. I got to do like a Mean Girls team up with Lana there, so I've got to just do a lot of good things with Lana. Like we've gone on the road together. I made a debut at Wrestle Island just before lockdown, so I've not really got started with that yet.
Yeah.
Working with Natalie Wild there.
Is that somewhere you will be returning once shows of?
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's no dates in place yet, but it seems promising. There's the LWF, that's Lancashire based.
Yeah.
They're sort of a new sort of upstart company, but they're doing good. They book shows at an army reserve, another family show. The head trainer Carl Clinch has got a good thing going at the school there. Yeah. One that I do enjoy that I have to give a shout out to is Mr. Cats. I don't know if you've seen any of their stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous, but just so fun to work. Like, those guys just want you to have a good time working their shows. Like, there's no like they've really helped me with wrestling as well. Like, they put me back with Joey there, and I got to get back in the swing of things and work with Dan Evans and Natalie Wild there as well. And yeah, they give me some opportunities as well, but they always say like the most important thing is you have a good time, and I just think that's so nice. There's a guy called Danny Sensation there. We've had wrestling weddings and wrestling funerals and all sorts of segments. I feel like I'm so well equipped to do a promo from all these ridiculous things that we have to do. There's a place, UBW down south, Stevenage, that's run by a guy called Paul Ash, which is a really good promotion, and he's a really good trainer as well. I think Bobby Tyler's originally from there. Charles Crowley, yeah, he's from there. A friend of mine, Wrestling Memes. Yeah, they're all doing well down there. I'm looking forward to just when lockdown lifts to just go down there for a week and train, hopefully. And yeah.
I've seen that you had a ladder match with quite a lot of ladies involved. How was that?
That was Full Force. Yeah. That was that was really good.
Was that your first ladder match?
Yes, it was. And the first sort of ladder move of the match was like Lana being, Mel, go and get the ladder, and I had to pick it up. And then I got like drop kicked over the ladder, and everyone backstage was like, Mel, we did not, every single person in the match, we did not expect you to be the first one doing a bump with the ladder. And I was like, well, I'm hardcore now. Yeah, it was really good. I would never have appreciated like how to plan something like that without those girls. Like a lot goes into it. I remember we had we had one segment in the match where like Lana's character was like, she just keeps running away and trying to get me to take the moves for her and stuff like that, and just keeps escaping. And at one point she pushed me into a dive of Jade, I think it was. She did a flip and I got like a footprint in my face. I had literally had the sole of Jade's foot printed on my face for like about the next 3 days going to work. I was like, yeah, really, I'm living this gimmick. But yeah, it was really good time, and yeah, I learnt a lot from that.
Oh, amazing. Is there, so like once lockdown's over, you mentioned Wrestle Island, is there any other companies that you're hoping to work for, or anybody that you're hoping to wrestle? Like, it's been a while for everybody. Who are you excited to work with?
Yeah. I would really like to get to do PCW.
Yeah.
That's what one of my aims always has been. Like, I've been down to the shows, done a few charity shows and things like that, but it would be nice to do something with them. I'd like to probably. I've wrestled Holly Barlow a couple of times. I'd probably like to wrestle her again. Bobby Tyler, some maybe at UBW, that would be great. I just want to get back out there and really looking forward to train. I'd probably like to go abroad somewhere. That would probably be an ambition.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just try to keep these low-key goals at the moment because we just don't know what's going to happen, do we? Like, safety first. Like, yes, I am really missing wrestling, but, got to keep safe and stuff. So we'll see. Rev Pro, that would be a dream to work somewhere like that.
What's the ultimate dream for you?
Do you know what? I would love to go to Japan. I just as like a person and see the Japanese culture and stuff like that. If I got to go like do a stint there, something like that would be amazing.
Would you be choosing of what company? Or because there's so many good companies out there, whether it's Tokyo Joshi Pro, Ice Ribbon Stardom, or Sendai Girls, so many.
So many, yeah. And then there is like, I have researched quite a lot. There's like ones like Seedling and stuff like that. They're a bit more character based, and I'd just not anyone that would have me, but I'm not particularly picky. I would just like to spend some time over there and train. Like, I just love training. Like, it sounds like even if I didn't get picked to go on a show straight away or something like that, just to have the experience is really important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So is WWE not somewhere you'd want to be then, or would you prefer the Japan route?
I think genuinely Japan, I think I would prefer at the moment because of training and stuff like that. But like NXT UK to do something like that. Like, I was told that they were keeping an eye on like my promos and stuff like that, and that was like a real.
So I was gonna say
my heart.
I was gonna say because a big thing of you is character work, and that's what they're screaming for. And character work doesn't come easy for people.
No.
Like, it's difficult to do the acting side convincingly, or the promos and stuff like that. And you've got that down to a T.
Oh yeah, I did. I got told that if they were looking for a manager, like, they know exactly where to come.
Yeah.
And then, but at the particular time, they didn't want managers, and then it really depends what they are looking for. They said I got told to keep in touch, and because they need to get more characters through the door. So that was a while ago now. That was probably about 18 months ago. So you just don't know what's going to come up, or it seems to change, doesn't it? Like, like like we say, we really love like the character stuff, the sort of family audience, but then it's like sometimes I really wish they'd have signed Lana as well. Like, after, I mean, I don't know what's going on. Like, she's had her match with Aoife recently, and like, I really hope that she would get on because she's got so much to offer. Like, she's an all-rounder. Like, I do think as a TV product, you can't just have straight wrestling, can you?
No.
And I do think as far as like promo work and stuff, I have got a lot to offer there. But you just don't know what they want at a particular time. So just got to keep doing you, I guess.
So you mentioned like you kind of stepped away from Futureshock because you wanted to become more in ring and go away from the valeting side. But if WWE, so NXT UK was like, we want to bring you in as a manager only, is that something you'd do, or would you say can I still train?
I think that is a question like quite a lot of people ask me. Like, I'd be a fool to turn down WWE, wouldn't I? So yes, I would take the job, but I would hope I'd be allowed to train in my spare time. That, depends what restrictions they want, or they want you to keep safe, but you never know what's going to happen, what's going to be your foot in the door and stuff like that. So I'd take any job, probably WWE. WWE, isn't it? But I would definitely, that would be like a dream, because body's not going to hold up forever. I still get like satisfaction from doing valeting and stuff. So I enjoy, like, I have runs in GPW where I still get to valet and then get a storyline and get to wrestle and do my intergenders and stuff. So
what's your thoughts on intergender wrestling?
If it's done sensibly, like, I don't think I would it would be believable if I wrestled some 6'2" man. I just don't think it would be because of
Diva
my
versus
size.
Rampage.
Yeah. Because of my size, there are some like incredible people who can do it really well. Like is it Charlie Evans?
Yeah.
She's wrestled a lot of the guys, Jade, people like that. For me, because I'm so character based, I probably could think of ways to get around it, but then I also think because I'm not that like high flyer, crazy technical, would it be believable? But yeah, it definitely has a place.
Yeah.
It just depends on the situation, I think.
I remember seeing way back when you was it Martin Kirby?
Oh yeah, oh gosh, yeah, back in the day. That's a
What was that like?
throwback.
Because Martin's great in the ring, but his character work is amazing.
I want to say that was like Shooting Star Wrestling or something like that. I don't know if that's. Oh yeah, working with him. Like, I really hope he comes out of retirement.
It seems like
What's going on with him?
it might be because of
Yeah.
him teasing like after Doug said he's coming back.
Yeah.
He's like, well, is it really that I retired if there's been no wrestling in between? So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's not really missed anything.
but yeah, Shooting Star Wrestling.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, Martin's awesome. So yeah, he's always been there for like to give advice and character work and encouragement. So yeah, that was fun. I mean, it meant a lot that time that he put me forward for that little match with him. I think it was about 1 minute long, but yeah, it goes down in the history books that I beat Martin Kirby.
Definitely.
I completely forgot about that. I'm buzzing now.
I'm just gonna have to like clip that on and send it to him on
Yeah,
Twitter.
we're gonna have to find the footage.
So you're gonna have to come back.
Pictures somewhere. The rematch.
So
It's funny.
if you were to do the managing stuff with NXT UK, then is there anybody you'd want to manage who maybe they're now or maybe on the independents and you'd hope they'd get signed with it?
Do you know what? I've not really given much thought. I always have this like dream of being back with the models at some point. Like, I'd love to see them get signed and be like, yes, here we are, still got all my outfits to match it. I always wanted to be like, I'm a big fan of New Japan, and I saw like I really enjoyed the run that the Kingdom had there with like Maria and Mike and Matt Taven, and I just thought I would love to do something like that with the guys. So yeah, always the models. I'm trying to think who I enjoy on NXT. Put me on a spot now, because then I feel like I'd be like, oh, who needs a manager on NXT? I'm a big fan of people like Ashton Smith, but I don't think we really fit together. Joseph Connors, I've always liked his work. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of a better.
We'll go with the models. The three of you can get signed. We'll go with that. Oh, brilliant! So again, hopefully wrestling can come back soon if it's safe for everybody and stuff like that. And it's great to hear that they are looking at your promo work. Like, keep that up because they are great. And
thank you.
To close off, like, what have you been doing in your spare time then if you're not been wrestling?
Probably like a lot of people, not that much. I work in retail, so I've kept working. Yeah. I went part-time for a bit, but I was absolutely climbing the walls. So yeah, I'd just be like, what to do, twiddling my thumbs, as you know. Yeah, there's not much. Tried to keep in shape a bit. Luckily, my brother's got weight sets and things like that I can use, and going for runs, and just doing Netflix and the usual, going for walks and stuff. Yeah, just trying. I mean, I'm lucky that like COVID's not really affected me too closely, and I'm just thankful that my family are safe and stuff.
Brilliant. So if there's somebody listening that may not have seen your work, or if there's a promotion listening that's not seen your work and are wanting to check it out, you mentioned a few matches that were some of your favorites, but what would be that one match you'd want them to check out?
I'll probably say I got to wrestle a girl called Evie Rose at UBW. That's on my YouTube channel. I think it's linked on my social media accounts, and I think that was just a good sort of display of my skills and balance of character and aggression, and just showcasing what I'm about, really.
Brilliant.
Bit of the it girl, but a bit of a angry bitch as well.
Amazing. Where can people find you on your social medias?
I'm at twitter.com/Melanie Price01, and same handle at Instagram, Melanie Price01. And I've got a YouTube channel as well.
Brilliant. I'll put those all in the excuse me. I'll put all those in the description for you. And Mel, thank you for coming on. Like, excited to see what's next for yourself. Again, it seems like you're popping up more places now as well, and hopefully once wrestling's back, we can get you even more places.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I
appreciate the support and the chat.
Everybody, make sure you do follow Melanie across social medias. They will be in the description. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Until next time, bye for now.
Friday morning.